What was the other question?
How do you succeed?
Sorry?
How do you somebody succeed equanimity?
Oh, how can you get equanimity of mind? I have no idea.
No, my question was about the practice. If you're supposed to keep on practicing when you feel the pain, or let it go for a while and,
Sometimes you have to let it go for a while. If something is inflamed, don't keep irritating it. It will just get more inflamed. But don't stop practicing. Just don't do that thing which really hurts a lot. Equanimity of mind is, again, one of those things that comes from working on it. You have to catch yourself when you don't have equanimity. In the Buddhist tradition, they call this the mindfulness muscle, where in your, like any muscle that we're going to build up in the arm or the leg, we can build up the muscle of our mind. And we can say to ourselves when we are feeling balanced, okay, I want to work on having equanimity, not being too reactive. So you remember that. And then when you start getting overreactive to something, you'll remember that you wanted to have some equanimity. You'll notice yourself going off, and then you'll remind yourself to come back to where you want it to be. You start to choose. And what they say is that this strengthens your ability to be aware when you're going off track. It's very difficult to make yourself feel balanced, but it's not so difficult to catch yourself when you go off from balance. And then just kind of bring yourself back. Bring your mental focus back. This is a basic meditative technique where you're just sitting and meditating and you want to focus on your breath for a while, and then you notice that you're thinking, and then you acknowledge that you're thinking, and in that moment that you acknowledge you're thinking, you can come back to your breathing, and they say this is strengthening the mindfulness muscle. And then, when you get used to doing it during meditation in controlled situations, then in regular life situations you can start applying that same thing. When you notice that you're going off, you can catch yourself. Say, okay, no, I need to breathe.
What you said about we use it when people
Are doing bad things. There are 4 things, yes.
Yeah. So if you see a person that you think is doing bad things, so how you react on that?
Well, like I said, you just try to keep your mind even-minded. You don't become overly judgmental. You have to start with easy people, for example. Okay? Don't start with, like, Hitler, for example. Okay? And just start with, like,
your
people
parents.
Who are doing, your parents is a good. That's very difficult. Don't start with your parents. Never start with your parents. So, exactly. Start with a pet. Start with your cat. When your cat scratches, you're so funny. So definitely don't start with difficult people. Start with something manageable, and then you build up. It's like if you're going to lift weights, don't start with 300 pounds. Start with like 5 pounds and do 5 repetitions, and then you get a little tired, and then you put it down. So you practice equanimity of mind towards people who are doing bad things in the world. Start with people who are just doing mildly annoying things. So anything, it's a pretty good place to start, is people who are just mildly annoying. Practice not getting annoyed. And that's all. And then you can start building up towards, more difficult situations. All these things need to be taken in very practical measures. You don't practice in the beginning equanimity of mind towards a mass murderer. You don't get it. Well, find somebody who annoys you, and see and watch yourself when you get annoyed. See what's happening in your mind when you get annoyed. Question yourself. Say, why am I getting annoyed at this person for leaving the cap off of the toothpaste? When I can just put the cap back on and then ask them to not do it again, for example. And then they're going to do it again. They're going to leave it off. And then eventually you just accept it and get used to it.
The simple
Yeah.
example.
Start with simple.
Yeah. I have hard.
Yeah, but simple ones are hard too. like just watch your mind with simple things and question why you react harshly, if you do. When you get judgmental or when you get critical, even about small things. Like we all do that. We all get critical about really small things, right? So we should, yeah. The Buddhists repeat phrases. And they can't hear you. The basic thing is watch your mind. Watch your mind, how it reacts to different situations. There's no necessary answer that I can say, do this and everything's going to be okay. Yeah. Jocelyn says you can't change the law of karma. You have to surrender. So these statements of Patanjali that we covered this afternoon, having kindness towards people who are happy, having compassion to people who are suffering, having sympathetic joy to people who do good things, and equanimity to people who do bad things or are annoying. These are suggestions for you to watch your mind, to see how you react in different circumstances. Don't worry about, I need to have a balanced mind towards this person. Don't worry about that part too much. Watch your mind. See what happens. Get comfortable with your own mind. Like Jocelyn was saying in the meditation, like make your practice your friend. So that every time you come to do your practice, you're like hanging out with a friend. If you do that, actually, this is the best way to never hurt yourself or overextend. If you just think that your practice is a friend who really cares about you, then you'll do your practice in the nicest way possible. And become friends with your mind. And watch what's going on with it. In chapter 4.3 of the Gita, Krishna says that your mind can be your greatest friend or your greatest enemy. So become friends with your mind. And then your mind will not be a disturbing place. So these 4 things are suggestions for us to watch our mind to see how we react to things.
A lot of people say that mind is a great servant, but a disaster.
A terrible master. Yeah, it's a great servant, but a terrible master. And they also say, my mind is a bad neighborhood. You don't want to go there alone. Okay, I think you get the basic idea.